Hello everyone, welcome to FedScoop TV and our special series on accelerating innovation in government. I am your host, Greg Otto, and we're here with Tony Scott, the former federal CIO. Tony, thanks for joining us today.
My pleasure, it's great to be here.
So one of the biggest aspects of digital transformation is enabling mobility for government workers. What do you think should be the government's biggest priority as they continue to move to a mobile workforce?
Well, I think what I see going on is a switch in interface. We've spent the last 20, 30 years with sort of a keyboard and screen sort of, and mouse, depending on your device sort of interface. And it's obvious to me now that the interface of the future is audio and video and mobile. And with 5G technology right around the corner, and the speeds that brings, along with more powerful chips and mobile devices, I think that's just an accelerator for this move to a completely different interface than the one that we've been used to for the last several years. So I think if we're thinking about architecture for the future, we've got to be thinking about mobile, audio, video, AI, machine learning, enabled interfaces and applications. And I think it's pretty exciting. With 5G, you're going to be able to download a full-length motion picture in a few seconds.
Okay.
Like 5 seconds.
Right.
That's just an example of how powerful this could be. And when you think about what that really means, it just opens up a whole new world of possibilities.
So security obviously is going to be a big aspect in this. And I go back to that age-old question. What do agencies have to do in order to make these mobile devices secure, but also make sure that their workers are still being productive when they use them out in the field?
Well, as you've probably heard me say before, the real answer is secure by design. So it's got to be built into the device. It's got to be built into the underlying device software. It's got to be built into the application. And you have to have security by design as an architectural principle, I think, right from the ground up. And that conversation is now, in my opinion, taking place, not necessarily everywhere it needs to take place, but it's a very common conversation now about what does secure by design really look like, how does it work, how do the pieces interact, and that's a great conversation for us to have as a technical community as well as a community that buys a lot of hardware and software.
So speaking of hardware and software, VR is very, very hot when it comes to talking about how to integrate it into enterprise technology. Where do you see VR going in the federal space in the next 12 to 18 months?
Well, I think you're going to see some very discrete applications when it comes to training or sort of classical things like that. But where the real promise is, I think, is practically everywhere. So there's hardly anything I can think of where you couldn't, if you use your imagination a little bit, think about how to use virtual reality or augmented reality in some sort of creative way. And I'll just give you one example of something I'm currently involved in.
Okay.
We do a lot of desktop, tabletop exercises for CIOs and their teams, simulating the response to a crisis.
Okay.
It could be a cybersecurity incident, or it could be a physical crisis, a building is burned, or those kinds of things. And typically these tabletop exercises try to inject a dose of reality to make it feel real for the participants. But right now we're seeing some great use of AR and VR to bring it home, to really make it real. And the user experience and the learning that comes from that is much different than just doing a paper-based tabletop exercise. Just one simple example, but boy, what a difference that really makes.
So let's take that example and pull back a little bit. With all of these emerging technologies that we're talking about, what is the one takeaway What is the one takeaway for federal agencies when it comes to making their workforce more productive, but integrating this technology into their workforce?
Well, I think the way to think about it is to step back and say, you know, what are the things that could make our workforce more productive? What information could they be accessing on demand, real time? Most of us work in very complex environments. And I don't know about you, but I never have all the information at my fingertips that I really would like to have. And I certainly can't keep it in my head. I'm long since that, long past since that ever happened. But if I have an environment where I can get at, in a very useful sort of way, whatever information I need on demand, and get advice from experts or collaborate with others at the drop of a hat, that's a pretty powerful thing to enable. And so as we think about what we're doing, the systems that we're providing, or the capabilities to enable mission in our agency, we have to think about it in those terms. What are the things, the tools that people could use on demand to help them do their job better?
Great. Tony, appreciate your insight. Thanks for speaking with us today.
My pleasure.
For our full series on accelerating innovation in government, check out fedscoop.com. I'm Greg Otto. Thanks for watching.